What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Hey Boo the Guru, Studio One Live. Man, I'm watching Dane Calloway right now. And he said something about truth. Is it his truth or is it the truth? First of all, there's only one truth, and that is the supreme truth. That supreme truth is the supreme being. What you mean? I had a guy say, "What you mean? There's only one truth." All other truths are collective truth. We might collectively agree on a way to count in the law. What do you mean? There's 1 plus 1 equals 2. That's true. I said, first of all, that's not the only way you can count. You can count by twos or 10. If you count by twos, there's no such thing as one. One would actually be a half, and half of that one would actually be a fourth. But if you want to reconcile it, 1 plus 1 equals 2 is this counting process. We labeled description of objects. Okay, well, that describes the supreme. That is the supreme. Because before you can have anything else, you have to have one. You can't count until you have at least one to count with. Okay, so, and that one, the supreme, supposedly came out of zero. The one supreme came out of this nothingness, this zero. That's why ones and zeros you could compute or use a computer and compile data and send data using ones and zeros because the supreme is a ones and zeros. So when we invent the computer or invent something, we're not inventing nothing new. It is in the fabric of the universe. It is the description of the supreme. There's only one being, and that is the supreme being. And all other things that we make is a description of the supreme one. Okay? So, ooh, 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 ooh. The only truth there is that there is the supreme. There's one life, and it is the only life. How could it be something else? How could it be nothing? There's always had to be something, and that is the supreme one. That is the only truth. Your truth is just your perspective. Now, if the human race looks at something and views something together, they can collectively say that is true. But they can change their mind as a people, or they can find out those laws of physics aren't what they're truly observing. They might have observed something. Oh, that's true because it fell at 9.8 meters per second. That's only maybe true because prospectively, that's our view right now on the planet Earth as it spins around the sun. So we're all going to have that perspective view. But it's not true on Saturn, and that's not true on Mercury, and that's not true on all the other planets. They have a whole totally another physical laws of physics. Now, they might generally be the same based on our galaxy. Now, if you're in an elliptical galaxy, it's going to be totally different because the spinning of the galaxy determines what the laws will be throughout the masses, the mass bodies, depending on how big and small they are, is going to be determined on how they react to the spinning of the galaxy. If you're a little bitty object, it might not be so much of a reaction. But if you're a big, gigantic sun, 1,000 times larger than our sun, then you whirling around the galaxy will have more of an effect. Okay? And that will be observed perspectively. And you would have that perspective truth if you lived in that region. Okay? So, truth? Listen, there's only one truth, and that is the supreme truth. And then when everybody say, when I'm in a debate, they be like, "Oh man, what you mean you sound like you on both sides of the fence?" Man, I ain't on your side. I ain't on my side. I'm on truth side. And I always tell people, hey man, don't try to defeat me with a word. I destroy them with the word. They kind of use the word, "Oh, you mean?" I say, you're ruled by Webster's. Webster's dictionary said that means that, and you're gonna act accordingly. Man, shut the hell up. and mean what you really want to mean. Not based on a word, you heard me? Not based on someone else's ideal and description. So live your truth. It's only your truth. You are the supreme truth. Live it accordingly. Be on truth side, because there's only truth. Because you know what's truth? That is the supreme. There is nothing else but truth. Oh, what about all those lies they told? He, he had a perspective truth. He had to paint a picture of what he wanted to be true. And that was the perspective he wanted to live. You could live a lie, but that lie will turn to truth. And that's why I told my homeboy, and I said, boy, don't never lie about going to jail. Don't never lie about getting killed. Don't never lie about just anything you don't want to happen to you. Don't lie about that shit, bro. Because that shit'll happen. Like, the universe makes shit truth. So keep living those lies. That's why this world, and I ain't gonna say the word, who's ruling this world want lies to be perpetuated. So truth will become of them. And you see the lies that's been perpetuated, it's nothing but terror, destruction, and frustration, and famine, and don't perpetuate someone else's perspective, especially if it's encapsulating hurt. There's only one law, and that is the law of hurt. You follow the law of hurt, you live truth, because the Supreme One wouldn't hurt itself. The Supreme One wouldn't kill itself, would it? It will live on. So how else would the Supreme One experience death if the Supreme One knows all, is all? We gotta die because we are the Supreme One, and we fear that death. The Supreme One wants to experience that fear of death and that anxiousness to kill, and and that anxiousness to defend and kill back. All those scenarios of death and destruction, it's fun for the Supreme One, okay? But it's whatever you choose to live. If you came here to live that deathful and fearful and you want to experience it, go right ahead and experience it. If you don't want to experience it, you could change your mind, law of mental, at any moment. One truth is your truth. Make it the supreme truth.